Grade 8, this is lesson 39. This has been like 8 weeks. This is more than a term's work already. Hier is nou amper les 40, wat beteken is 8 weke se werk, dis meer as 'n kwartaal se werk. Mense, jy moet bybly. The whole point of this exercise is null and void if you don't work with us. Op die ou einde, juffrou kan al die werk vir jou gee en jou eie juffrou of meneer kan al die werk vir jou gee, maar jy moet sit en werk. If you don't sit and make this your own and make this your knowledge, it's not going to work for you. Jy moet saam met ons werk. Goed. Wiskunde is oefen, oefen, oefen. Practice makes perfect in mathematics. It's no use writing all of this down. You could have everything in your book, but nothing up here. As jy alles in jou boek het, maar niks in jou brein het nie, dan beteken hierdie lesse vir jou net mooi niks nie. So maak seker jy werk daardeur. Goed, ons is nou besig met ewewydige lyne vir die afgelope rukkie. Hoopelik is jy nou by die 3de, 4de les nou bietjie meer konfyt daarmee, dat jy begin weet wat aangaan. Hopefully by now this 3rd, 4th lesson of parallel lines, you're starting to get the hang of it. Wat het ons gesê, ewewydige lyne parallel lines, we say fun. What does it mean? I don't even go back to it quite a lot, but it's because you have to know that those little angles are equal there by the F, meaning dis jou ooreenkomstige hoeke, your corresponding angles, ooreenkomstige hoeke, your corresponding angles. The U are those two angles over there, and I don't want to make them the same letter. Ek wil nie dieselfde tekentjie teken nie, want hulle is nie gelyk nie. Daai co-binhoek is nie gelyk nie, hulle is supplementêr. Co-binhoeke is supplementêr. Co-interior angles are supplementary. Then the N, they equal again. Daai twee waarletjies daar is weer gelyk aan mekaar, want hulle is verwisselende hoeke. They are alternate angles. That's basically what the fun is for. Fun and games, reg. Ewewydige lyne. So dit wanneer jy by 'n skets kom met ewewydige lyne, jy daai goed kan gaan soek. When you get to a sketch that has parallel lines, that you can go and look for those specific connections of angles. Nou goed, as dit sulke lyne is wat langer getrek is, gaan jy dit gewoonlik beter raak sien. If it's lines that are drawn longer, you can see it easily. In this sketch, there was no parallel lines given. But it was given that it was a trapezium, en die oomblik toe hulle sê dis 'n trapezium, daai kan tog sekerlik nie ewewydig wees nie. They can't be parallel. It was these two that was parallel given. It's not straightforwardly given on there with little arrows. You have to put the little arrows in there. Jy moet daai lyntjies daar gaan sit het met twee pyltjies dat jy kan sien hulle is ewewydig omdat hulle gesê dis 'n trapezium because they said it was a trapezium. Dan weet jy mos nou, as jy na ewewydige lyne kyk, and usually what you need to do, especially in the start, is draw it a little longer, so that you can see, daar is top regs, top right. This would be bottom right, the whole thing there would be bottom right. As ek met hierdie lyn gaan werk, and I draw it a little longer, and I draw the parallel line a little longer, then this means that this angle here, which is 18, en daai hoekie daar gaan ook 18 wees, en my rede is wat? Wat een van gaan dit dan wees? So dan oor hierso sit ek met links bo, links onder, regs onder, regs bo. So if I'm looking right top, this whole thing would be right bottom, this would be left bottom, right, left top. So left bottom, and this one right top. Sien jy, dis regs bo, right top. This would be left, including that little piece there. Right top, right bottom, left top. Maar die groot ding is, daai twee is gelyk, want dis links onder, regs bo. Right top, left bottom. So as hy heeltemal wissel, dan is dit verwisselende hoeke. So the first thing that you would say, to find this angle C1 that we said, a lot of things about, that you must get BCA. BCA means it's that little one there that I can call C1. Ek kan hom C1 en nou ons hou as wiskundiges daarvan, maar jy moet hom kan lees. Hoe lees jy hom? Van B na C na A. Wat is die hoekie wat daar gevorder word? Dis C1. Ek sê weer gou vir jou in jou handboek, skryf hulle die hoeke so. Ek wil nie jy moet dit so skryf nie. Please don't write it that way, the way that your textbook writes it, BCA, it's the angle. Goed. So met ander woorde, as ek dan nou vir C1 wil kry, if I wanted to get C1, I can write BCA. But it would be equal to A2. Specific. This is a footnote. It's not next to it, it's at the bottom. Has to have the little copies there. Dis baie belangrik. Ons gaan karring met jou oor detail. En goed is gelyk aan mekaar en dis gelyk aan 18 grade. Why? Because of alternate angles as gevolg van verwisselende hoeke. En dan skryf jy altyd by die lyne wat ewewydig is. Nou wat as die lyne wat ewewydig was? Dit was BC en AD. BC AD. Can I write CB? Yes. Kan jy skryf DA? Ja. And parallel lines are two vertical lines, right? That. Okay. So I've done that. Make sure that you've done what I asked. Volgende vraag te veel, wat's x se waarde? Nou om x se waarde te kan kry, wat anders het ek wat ek hier kan gebruik. Sien jy dat daar is 'n? Now this next step is insight. Can you see, if I want to look for x, where is x? There's quite a few of them. But I've got a connection here that says, if I add them up, they're going to give me 180, want dis 'n driehoek. Dit moet saamtel na 180 grade toe. So dit sien jy raak. Jy moet vir my kan sê, maar juffrou, x plus x min 70 plus die 18 moet 180 wees. In any order, that plus that plus that equals 180. For a rede, because it's the angles of a triangle that add up to 180. Interior angles of a triangle add up to 180. Sum of the interior angles of a triangle add up to 180. You can reverse it in any way. But if you write it as an abbreviation, that's perfect. So it is die hoeke van 'n driehoek wat 180 grade is. Binnehoeke van 'n driehoek is 180 grade. Som van die binnehoeke van 'n driehoek is 180 grade. Dis die feit wat ek toets. So it's worth 2 marks. And that one would be worth maybe 3. If you don't remember this, then you're going to lose a mark. Goed, nou dat hier so 'n vergelyking. This is an equation. So I'm adding like terms. Altyd tel die gelyksoortige terme op deur die koëffisiënte 1 en 1 gee my 2x. Then you can first add them and then take them across, or you can first take them across and say it's plus 70 and minus 18. Al die variasies, ek het dit nou al 7000 keer vir jou gesê. There are so many variations on this. First add it, then take it across. First take it across, then add it. It doesn't matter. And then we rather make sure I've got it right. To get 232. 2x is 2. Dan kry ek vir x alleen deur wat te doen. What is the next step? How do I now get x alone? If 2 times x is that, then divide by 2, divide by 2, and the answer is 116. Hier's nie redes nie, there's no reasons here. I'm doing the math. I'm doing the algebra. I'm doing the solving of the equation. So there's not a reason for each of them next door there. But I've got x, so the second one is done. So met ander woorde, hier's nie 'n rede vir elkeen wat ek daar gedoen het nie. Ek het nou net die algebra gaan doen. Dan kom ek by die derde enetjie en maybe you would want to say this is 1, this is 2, I'm getting to number 3 here. I want A, C, D. How will I get A, C, D? Where is A, C, D? It's that angle over there. And I can't get it with parallel lines because these lines are not parallel. As jy dalk gedink het, maar juffrou, daar is nou weer verwisselende hoeke. You might have thought that that was alternate angles, but they're not equal to each other because these lines are not parallel. But how am I going to get that? Jy het nou net gekry wat is x. Do you see that it builds upon each other? Nou dat jy weet wat is x, dan weet jy mos wat is hierdie waarde hier. If x is 116, then that value d would be x minus 40, which would be 116 minus 40. You don't have to write all of that. Jy kon dit gaan doen net sonder om dit in jou sakrekenaar, sonder om die stappe te werk. You could have said, I know it's 116, I'm taking 116, subtracting, so the answer is 76. Boom, one shot. But you're going to get a mark for the 76. Not necessarily for showing me that you went there, that you substituted, that you got the answer. Jy hoef dit nie stap vir stap te verduidelik nie, maar hoekom is 116? Want jy het so pas uitgevind, x is 116. 16. So that's why I know that this is 76. So hoe sal jy nou vir C2 kry? Jy het mos nou die binnehoeke van 'n driehoek weer 'n keer wat jy kan gaan gebruik. So C2 you will get with the sum of the interior angles again. Whether you show me or not, whether you show me I'm adding 18 and 76 together getting an answer, show me that you're subtracting it from 180 or not, it doesn't matter. As jy net vir my die antwoord hier neerskryf, is dit reg. As jy vir my wil wys, maar juffrou, dis 180 trek af, tel 18 en 76 by mekaar en doen dit so, you can do that. But I need the answer, so if you only write the answer, it's fine, but you have to say the sum of the angles of a triangle is 180. Ons net daai een lui uitgesluit. The sum of the angles of a triangle is 180. No, look, I said sum of the angles of a triangle is 180. Just angles of a triangle, nitty-gritty. You can write both of them. Hoeke van 'n driehoek, binnehoeke van 'n driehoek, som van die hoeke van 'n driehoek, dis okay. Ek moet net daai idee kan kry van dis die hoeke van 'n driehoek wat 180 grade is. Maar of jy dit nou vir my uitskryf dat jy weet, jy moet eers 7, 6 en 18 by mekaar tel en dan van 180 aftrek en of jy net dadelik vir my gaan sê, maar juffrou die antwoord is dan 94, nee. 18 plus 7, 6 94, so wat bly oor? As ek gaan uitwerk hoeveel dit moet wees. 86, so if I subtract it, it's 86. So this 100% reg, and if you didn't show me all your workings out, but you just said 86, perfect. Reg, dat jou antwoord net 86 is. Because how did you get there? You took it, you added it, you subtracted it, and you got to the answer. The answer is worth the marks, and then the reasoning after that. Okay, kom ons kyk verder. Another example. In this example, I could have said to you, KLMN is a parallelogram. I could have said to you, this is a parallelogram without putting the little arrows in there. Sonder om die klein pyltjies te sit. Dan moes jy weet die pyltjies moet daar wees. As jy vir sê dis 'n parallelogram, moet daai parallel wees en moet daai parallel wees. If I said it was a parallelogram, you knew it had to be parallel and parallel without giving you the little arrows. Then you put the arrows yourself and sit yourself my pyltjies daar. So obviously is hierdie 'n fun som, so jy weet weer eens jy kan daai F, U en ding gaan gebruik wat jy weet ooreenkomstige hoeke, co-binnehoeke, verwisselende hoeke. Corresponding angles, co-interior, alternate angles. You know it's going to happen here again. Dan vra die eerste vraag van al. Eerste ding wat jy werklik weet is dat hierdie is 56. Nou vra die eerste vraag vir jou, kry vir my vir N. Get N. Nou dit is nie ewewydige lyne nie. The fact that you must know N is something about a parallelogram. So juis, shoot, oh no, all the stuff is coming together. You must realize when you're looking at the sum after lots of practice, you'll get the hang of what to use when. Because you've got this big toolbox and you've got to know what to take out when. Jy het hierdie groot aantal werk en feite wat jy in jou toolbox het wat jy moet kan uithaal op enige gegewe tyd. So die een ding wat jy nou hier moet weet is dat N net so groot is soos K. Why is N just as large as K, which is 56? Hoekom? Want dis 'n parallelogram. Not because of the parallel lines, because it's a parallelogram. So you're going to say that N is the same as K because they are opposite angles of a parallelogram. Hulle is die teenoorstaande hoeke van 'n parallelogram. Wees asseblief versigtig die Afrikaanse kinders, dis nie regoorstaande nie. Wat is regoorstaande? Dit is regoorstaande. In English, they don't really make that mistake. They will never say that this is vertically opposite angles. It's opposite angles of a parallelogram. Die Afrikaanse kinders is teenoorstaande en regoorstaande. Vir een of ander rede wil hulle dit baie maklik opmix met mekaar. So, teenoorstaande hoeke. Dis die rede, not because of parallel lines, because it's a parallelogram. And always those angles will be equal. And those will be equal to. Nou goed, die tweede vraagie gaan jy dalk nou uitgevang het, want hulle vra KLN. K L, N. Do you see how I'm looking for it? Go from K to L to N, K to L to N. So the angle I'm looking for is that whole thing. Daai hele ding. Not just L1, not just L2, but the two together. L1 plus L2. And if you want to write it that way, it's perfectly fine to say that that angle is L1 plus L2. Never ever L1 plus 2 like that. If I write it to you and you've ever thought of writing it like that, wrong, wrong, wrong. Okay. Jy kan nie sê L1 plus 2, so nie. Jy kan sê hoek L1 plus hoek L2. Lots of finicky stuff that they don't want you to do when you're writing this stuff. Goed, so ek wil net as daai hele hoek nou goed. Dis fun. That's the U of fun. Waar is ek nou? Check. If I look at these two parallel lines, and that line going through there, ignore that blue line there. Probeer om nie daai blou lyn te sien nie. Sien jy die E? Do you see the U? So those two are not the same, but they add up to what? 80. Hulle is nie gelyk aan mekaar daai twee ko binne hoeke nie, maar hulle tel op na 180. So I'm short something to get to 180, and that's 124 if you take your calculator. Nou gaan ek sê daai hele hoek daar is 124. Do you see the U? Like that? That must add up to 180. So if the one is 56, the one is 124, because they've got to add up to 180. Goed, so met ander woorde, daai hele hoek daar. Let's write it here. Yes, let's write it here. K, L, N will be 124 degrees. Ek skryf net die antwoord. Wat het jy gedoen? You looked at the co-interior angles that are supplementary. Ko binne hoeke is supplementêr. Wat is die lyne wat ewewydig is? These are the lines that make them co-interior angles. Not these. They don't make those co-interior. It's those lines that make them co-interior. So they are L, N, and K, N. L, N, and K. En maak seker, jy kan NL skryf, you can write MK, but it's got to be those two lines, not these two lines. They are parallel, but they don't make those co-interior angles. Daai ko binne hoeke word gemaak deur daai twee sye, nie hierdie sye nie. Okay, finicky, presies. So have I got KLM? Yes. Nou soek ek vir X. Okay, that was number 2. That was number 1. We're looking for X. Nou wat gaan X wees? Nou ek weet, jy gaan nou vir my sê, but then X will be half of that. Nee. You cannot assume if the whole thing is 124, then that's half, because it's not. They just add up to 124. Maar dit beteken nie helfte nie. Hoe gaan ek nou by my X uitkom? Al wat ek weet is daai hele groot hoek daar is 124 grade. Wag net so 'n bietjie so oom. Sorry, there was just a teacher that I had to help. So how would I get to X? Point number 1 that you mustn't do is assume that if this is 124, then it's 62, half. Nee. Al lyk dit baie keer so half. Even if it looks like it could be half. This doesn't even look like it. You can never assume if two things add up to 50, then it's half, 25. Never. Jy weet dis saam 124, but that one could be 74 and this one could be 50. This one could be 20 and this one 104. It doesn't matter. You cannot assume. Maar nou hoe moet ek nou by X uitkom? So look harder. What is all the stuff that you know about straight lines, about parallel lines, about triangles? Wat van die driehoeke? In hierdie driehoek, watse hoeke het jy? Let's go to the bottom one. In the bottom triangle, do you have angles? You've only got 56. That's it. In die onderste driehoek het jy net hierdie 56. Jy weet nie groets daai nie. Jy weet nie groets hierdie nie, so dit help nie om in die onderste driehoek werk nie. If I wanted to try and work with the bottom triangle, my plan was falling flat because I only have 56. I don't know that angle, I don't know this angle. But in this triangle, I've got 56. I've got X. Do I really have X? But I've got the value, the relationships. Ek het die verhoudings met mekaar. Hy's X En hy is ietsie ook met 'n X. This is something with the X and this is something with the X and this 56. Maar hulle moet saam 100. You see it's a pattern that you can start seeing everywhere. Aha, so in other words, X and 56 and the 2X plus 10. X and 56 and the 2X plus 10 must equal 180 again. Want dis binnehoeke van 'n driehoek. Now, I can even show you some technique, remember, alternatives. So it's the sum of the angles of a triangle that's 180. Now, if you want to, you can even tell me it's triangle LNM. Sien jy, nou het ek 'n bietjie anders geskryf. Ek sê dat die binnehoeke van 'n driehoek LNM is 180. You don't have to write the LNM there, but especially later on in grade 10, 11, 12, when you start getting like 4 or 5 triangles in a sketch, you want to tell them, listen, I'm with this one, I'm with that one. So it could be a good idea that I say, there are 2 triangles. Which one is it? It's the LNM one. MNL. LMN. It doesn't matter which order. You just have to tell me it's that triangle. Do you have to write this? No, it's just another technique. Showing the person marking where are you. So as ek dit wou gaan skryf, kon ek bygeskryf het, dis omdat ek in daai boonste driehoekie is. So now again I've got a little equation. You wrote the test on equations. So ek tel by mekaar. 1x en 2x is 3x. I'm adding together. This time around I'm adding it on the left before I take it to the right because I'm doing different things at different times. Ek tel by mekaar, 2 van 6 en 60. So if I take it across to the other side, I'm getting 114, and then I've got to divide by 3. And if I divide by 3, I get 38. I always want to say this. Is it possible that I can get something with a decimal here? Kan ek ietsie wat nie mooi presies indeel kry, ietsie kry soos 37,2 grade? Natuurlik. Degrees aren't always precisely whole degrees. There is 30,2 degrees or 50,7 degrees or whatever the case may be. So I have X. Reg, maar die hele ding het gegaan oor die binnehoeke van 'n driehoek. So definitely you would get a mark for your reason and then for your answer. Last question. This is a long example. The last question is to go and find M1. M1 is this one. So what do I need to do to find it? Just substitute X with, where's my X? 38. Jy het nou net die X gekry. So the moment I've got X, I can find everything. I can find that X, I can find this whole angle, and then if I've got that X, which is 38, they never asked me for that. So if this is 38, then I can figure out how much this was, because together they must be 124. Did they ask it? Nee, hulle het nie gevra nie, so ek gaan dit nie doen nie, maar kan ek dit kry? Usually after you finish, you can find all the angles there, and you don't have to, you just do what's been asked. So the only thing you need to do for M1 is to know that it's 2x plus 10, so you just have to substitute the x with 38, get your answer, and again, you don't have to show all the steps, but the fact is you substitute it with this answer. Even if you got a wrong x, as jy weer 'n verkeerde x gekry het, en jy daai x hier in vervang, kan ek hier vir jou punte gee. Even if you got this wrong, we can follow it up, because then you would take your 42 or whatever you got here and work it out right, then you get your answers. There's no reason here. Jy het net substitusie gedoen. Dis wat hy is, vervang vir x, kry jou antwoord. That would be the end of your sum and you did everything I asked you. But now let's just for interest's sake go and see what the rest of the sum is. So if I had that x was 38 there, then what would be 124 minus 38? As ek sê 124 trek af die 38, dan gee hierdie vir my 86 grade. And if I add them up, I will get the sum of the angles of a triangle again. So if I add 86 and 56 and subtract it from 180, then I get 38 here. Maar daar's 'n ander, hoekom 38? Why 38? Some of the angles of a triangle, yes. Or alternate angles. En as ek hierdie hoekie uitgewerk het wat 86 is, could I not have said 38, 56, subtracted from 180 also gives me 86 without the substitution. Hoekom doen juffrou hierdie elke keer aan jou? Why do I do this to you every time? Because I want you to know that this one way of linear thinking is a bad thing for a child. You've got to know that there's variety and you can still get to the same answer. Jy moet jou brein oefen om verskillende maniere te kan raak sien. Want in 'n ander som gaan 'n ander tegniek beter werk vir daai som. So that you can try the techniques and decide, now this technique is better for this sum and the other technique is better for another sum. Goed. Okay, so to help yourself, for the rest of the time, as I'm doing the sums, first pause, try it yourself. Go back now, do the sum again, see if you can get it right. As jy nou terug kan gaan, pause nou eers die video, gaan terug, doen eers weer daai sommetjie self. Kyk dan weer hoe ek verduidelik en dan probeer jy die volgende met my. Because you're going to find now, sometimes there is no parallel lines. There are no parallel lines in those sums. But there are triangles, there are straight lines, there are alternate exterior angles of a triangle. Al die goed wat jy reeds geleer het, is daar. So jy moet nou net gaan seker maak dat dit wat ek jou geleer het, kan jy toepas. Every sum is different. You got to look for the connections. Goed.